Congratulations again, pioneers. Today, I can say this is it, the final countdown. For 50 years, the world's financial system has been running on old, broken rails. Banks have been sending money using technology that was designed before most of us were even born. Messages get lost. Transfers take days, and trillions of dollars move through a system held together with digital duct tape. Tomorrow, November 22nd, that system finally dies. A new global language goes live. Every major bank, every payment network, every financial institution on the planet will start speaking the same tongue. And here's what nobody is talking about. There is only one cryptocurrency with 50 million users that was built from the ground up to speak this exact language. Tomorrow isn't just another date on the calendar. It could be the beginning of something we've been waiting years for. But here's the thing. Most pioneers don't understand. What happens tomorrow might not look like what you're expecting. And that's exactly why you need to watch this entire video, because what I'm about to explain could change how you see everything. Hello pioneers, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Nathan. We are less than 24 hours away from the ISO 2022 global migration deadline. The energy in the community is absolutely electric right now. My comments are flooded with questions. Will the GCV activate tomorrow? Will Open Mainnet finally launch? Is this the day we've been waiting for? I hear you. I feel that excitement too. But I need you to listen to me very closely right now, because this might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. Many of you are expecting fireworks tomorrow. You're expecting to wake up, open your Pi wallet, and see that giant number staring back at you. You're expecting announcements, celebrations, maybe even a live stream from the core team. If that's what you're waiting for, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. And I don't want that for you. Here's the truth. Tomorrow is not a public launch party. It's not a celebration. It's a global infrastructure reset. And those two things look completely different. Think about it like this. Remember when the internet upgraded from dial-up to high-speed broadband? Did you see the cables being changed? Did someone knock on your door and announce the switch? No. One day, things just started working faster. Videos loaded quicker. Downloads happened in seconds instead of hours. The change happened in the background, invisible to most people. That is exactly what's happening tomorrow with the global financial system. The world's banks are switching the plumbing. They're upgrading from an old, clunky messaging system to something modern and powerful. And Pi Network? We might just be the new water waiting to flow through those upgraded pipes. But here's what I need you to understand about how this actually works, and why the silence you might hear tomorrow could actually be the biggest signal of all. Let me break down what ISO 2022 actually means, because most people in crypto have no idea what this standard really does. For decades, banks have been sending messages to each other using something called SWIFT. When you wire money internationally, your bank sends a message to another bank saying, hey, move this money from here to there. The problem is, these messages are incredibly limited. They're like sending a text message with only 100 characters. You can barely fit the basic information. ISO 20022 changes everything. Instead of those limited text messages, banks can now send rich, detailed data packages. We're talking about complete identity information, purpose of payment, compliance data, everything a modern financial system needs to work properly. Now, here's where this gets interesting. For Pi Network was built on the Stellar Consensus Protocol. It has AI-powered KYC verification. It was designed from day one to handle rich data, verified identities, and detailed transaction information. In other words, Pi was built to speak the exact language that the global banking system is adopting tomorrow. We didn't have to retrofit our system. We didn't have to scramble to become compliant. Pi was born ready for this moment. When the switch flips tomorrow, the global financial system will finally be speaking Pi's native language. It's like the whole world is finally learning to speak the tongue that Pi has been speaking since the beginning. But I know what you're really asking. What does this mean for your wallet? What does this mean for the price? What does this mean for when you can finally use your Pi? The honest answer might surprise you, and what the core team is doing right now tells us everything we need to know about their confidence level. Let me be completely straight with you, because I respect this community too much to give you false hope. Will your wallet balance change tomorrow? Probably not. Will you be able to trade Pi on Binance tomorrow? No. Will there be some magical button that gets pressed at midnight that suddenly makes everyone rich? That's not how this works. And here's the part that might be hard to hear. That is perfectly fine. In fact, that's exactly how it should be. If you don't see major public announcements tomorrow, do not panic. If your social media feeds aren't exploding with Pi news, don't assume something went wrong. If the core team stays silent, don't think they've abandoned us. It means the integration is happening exactly as planned. Silently. In the backend, where the real work gets done. Think about every major infrastructure project you've ever seen. When they build a new highway, do they let cars drive on it while they're still laying the concrete? When they install new plumbing in a building, do they turn on the water before checking for leaks? Of course not. The core team isn't building a hype coin designed for a one-day pump and dump. They're not trying to create short-term excitement that fades in a week. They are building financial infrastructure designed to last for generations. And you don't build century-long foundations with fireworks. You build them with patience, precision, and silent confidence. Speaking of silence, there's something fascinating happening right now with the core team that most pioneers haven't noticed. And once I point it out, you'll never see their strategy the same way again. Think about what the core team is doing right now. Tomorrow is supposedly one of the biggest days in Pi's history. The ISO 2022 deadline, the global financial reset, a moment 5 years in the making. Are they hyping it up? Are they posting countdowns on social media? Are they doing interviews and press releases and marketing campaigns? No, they are completely silent. And that silence is telling us everything. When you're nervous about something, you talk about it constantly. You seek validation. You need reassurance from others that everything will be okay. But when you're confident, when you know you've done the work, you don't need to say anything. You just let the results speak for themselves. The core team's silence right now is the ultimate display of confidence. It's the quiet calm of someone who has already won, even if the scoreboard hasn't updated yet. Remember all the developments we've covered over the past few months? The trip to Korea to secure digital signature technology. The MyCA white paper that leaked showing the European strategy for late 2025. The massive scaling up of the AI-powered KYC system. The partnerships being formed behind closed doors. These weren't random events. These weren't accidents. These were pieces of a puzzle being carefully placed into position. Every single move has been building toward this moment where the external world's rules finally align with what Pi was designed to do from the beginning. Think about a master chess player. When they know checkmate is coming in 5 moves, do they announce it to their opponent? Do they celebrate before the game is over? No. They stay calm. They stay focused. They let the inevitable unfold. That's what we're witnessing right now. The core team doesn't need to hype November 22nd. They don't need to make promises or predictions. They just need to let it happen and let Pi's technology speak for itself when the time is right. But here's where things get really interesting. While the surface might look calm tomorrow, what's happening underneath could be the most significant development in Pi's entire history. While tomorrow might look quiet on the surface, here's what we believe is actually happening in the background. Starting tomorrow, the core team will likely begin the final private testing of Pi's ability to work with this new global banking standard. Think of it like pressure testing the pipes before turning on the water for 50 million users. They need to make sure every connection is solid. Every integration works perfectly. Every piece of the system can handle the load that's coming. Because when you have 50 million people waiting to use something, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. The back end will be incredibly active tomorrow, even if the front end looks completely normal. Engineers will be monitoring systems, data will be flowing through new channels, tests will be running constantly. This is the activation sequence that's been years in the making. Here's how we see the timeline unfolding. Tomorrow, November 22nd, the global infrastructure resets. ISO 2022 goes live worldwide. Pi's backend systems silently align with this new standard. In the weeks following, private testing continues. The MyCA-compliant European listing gets finalized for late 2025, just like the leaked document suggested. The remaining KYC backlog gets cleared as the AI systems scale up. Then comes the final step. Open mainnet. The full unleashing of the GCV economy onto a world that is finally ready to receive it. Tomorrow isn't the climax of the movie. It's the end of the prologue. The setup is complete. The pieces are in place, and the real story is about to begin. But there's one more thing you need to understand about why this particular moment matters more than any other in Pi's history. I've been covering Pi Network for years now. I've seen launches, I've seen deadlines, I've seen moments that the community thought would change everything, and sometimes they did, and sometimes they didn't. But this moment is different. And here's why. Every other milestone in Pi's history has been internal. It was about what the core team was building, what features they were adding, what problems they were solving within the Pi ecosystem. Tomorrow is external. Tomorrow, the outside world is changing to match what Pi has already built. The global financial system is upgrading to speak Pi's language, not the other way around. For the first time, Pi isn't chasing compliance. Pi isn't trying to adapt to external standards. The external standards are catching up to Pi. That's a fundamental shift that most people in this community haven't fully grasped yet. We've been waiting for Pi to be ready for the world. But tomorrow, the world becomes ready for Pi. 50 million pioneers have been mining, building security circles, inviting friends and family, clicking that button every single day for years. Many of you faced doubt from people around you. Some of you were called crazy for believing in a phone-based cryptocurrency. Tomorrow, the infrastructure that validates everything you believed in goes live. The rails that Pi was designed to run on are finally being installed worldwide. So, pioneers, tomorrow is the day. But I want you to approach it with the right mindset. Do not look for fireworks. Do not expect announcements and celebrations. Look for the silent shift happening beneath the surface. The old financial system ends tonight. The new global standard goes live tomorrow. And Pi Network is positioned like no other cryptocurrency on Earth for what comes next. Stay calm through whatever tomorrow brings. Stay verified and KYC complete. Trust the process that has brought us this far. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below saying "The Silent Shift" along with your country flag. To everyone who has been on this journey with us, thank you. Tomorrow marks the beginning of a new chapter. Not with fireworks and fanfare, but with the quiet confidence of a system that was built right from the very beginning. The silent shift begins tomorrow, and every single pioneer who held on through years of doubt is about to see why patience always wins. I'll see you on the other side.